The militaries of the world have invested billions in land, air, and seafaring vehicles, and some of them look absolutely incredible. Today we'll be taking a look at the most powerful and the most unique vehicles in the world. Here are 15 of the largest and most insane military vehicles. Number 15, JLTV. Short for Joint Light Tactical Vehicle, the JLTV is a force to be reckoned with when traversing the dangerous terrains of any battlefield. And it may not look impressive, but this vehicle is the workhorse of the United States military. The US military took the Humvee and just gave it an upgrade. So while the original Humvee is just fine, the JLTV is bigger and better in just about every way. It's twice as heavy and has a much higher carrying capacity than its predecessor, despite the rough terrain and today's unconventional warfare. But being inside this insane military vehicle is one of the safest places you can be. It's got armored doors that each weighs a few hundred pounds. The cabin is wrapped up in an armored shell that gives the JLTV blast protection seats and underbelly. So in the event this bad boy drives over any landmines hiding out in the field, the ride may get a bit bumpy, but everyone inside will be safe and sound. And should the JLTV catch on fire, it's equipped with an automatic fire extinguishing system, but it dishes out as much as it can take with a heavy machine gun, anti-tank guided missiles, and even automatic grenade launchers. Number 14, the Striker. Upping the ante and raising the bar set by the JLTV is the Striker. Bigger and better than our previous entry, the Striker weighs 19 tons and fits 11 people, 9 troops and 2 crew members. The Striker is specifically designed for versatility, and boy does it deliver. It comes in 10 different configurations for 10 different scenarios and can make the shift from a 4-wheel drive for the highway to an 8-wheel drive for cross-country and off-roading in a cinch. Doesn't matter where you are, the Striker is coming to get you. This crazy military vehicle was actually named after 2 Medal of Honor recipients, both with the name Stryker, who served in World War II and the Vietnam War, respectively. But there's more to this beast than a cool historical name and being an all-terrain vehicle. It's also showing up on the battlefield with heavy machine guns, some more automatic grenade launchers, and even guided missiles for when things get a little too heavy. Plus, it offers everyone on board some much-needed IED protection and reconnaissance technologies. Number 13, AAV-7A1 Amphibious Assault Vehicle. The AA-7A1 Amphibious Assault Vehicle is going to meet all of your aquatic and terrestrial needs. When it is out to sea, the Amtrak can make it through the choppy water as high as 10 feet. And when it does finally reach the beach, it's reaching a top speed of 45 miles per hour without batting an eyelash. The Amtrak will also happily man checkpoints or even work as a bulk refueler or field ambulance. It really does it all, including being able to lug around 10,000 pounds of equipment and 21 troops. But the Amtrak has actually been around for decades, deploying from US Marine Corps assault ships to spearhead beachfront attacks. If you ever see any of these showing up on your beach, you know it's the beginning of the end. Number 12, V-22 Osprey Tilt Rotor. Part helicopter, part plane, an all-insane military vehicle, the V-22 Osprey Tilt Rotor is the first production tilt rotor aircraft to take to the skies. This insane hybrid military vehicle can land and take off vertically, just like a helicopter. When it's airborne, it transforms into a turboprop craft that flies faster, farther, and at higher altitudes than any typical helicopter. This also makes it the perfect vehicle to get in and out of some pretty tight and contested areas, seeing as how it doesn't need the long runway a normal airplane would require. But the V-22 Osprey's biggest claim to fame these days is that it serves on the escort fleet for Marine One, which is the helicopter that carries the President of the United States. But the V-22 Osprey is big too, and can carry up to 24 fully equipped troops all armed and ready to go at the drop of a hat. It can climb to about 25,000 feet, or about 5 miles up in the air, and hits a top speed of 350 miles an hour. But something that moves that quickly, carrying all that much around, has to stop for refuels all the time then, right? Well, actually, this military vehicle is capable of refueling mid-air, seeing as how its helicopter capabilities allow it to hover in the air. It can even tuck in its rotators like tucking in a car's rear-view mirrors to make it more compact for storage. Number 11, Marauder. The next insane military vehicle was actually featured on Top Gear, so if it looks familiar, then there you go. The Marauder is a mean-looking vehicle built in South Africa and is a popular choice amongst plenty of the world's militaries. It weighs a whopping 13,000 kilograms and is powered by a 6-cylinder diesel engine. So if anything gets in this thing's way while it's coming down the street, it's probably going to get absolutely obliterated, Fast and Furious style. And it's probably one of the best vehicles to be in when things get a little hot and heavy and shrapnel starts falling from the sky. That's because the Marauder is packing double-skinned armor to reduce the kinetic energy that normally passed into the cabin when something explodes outside. So when things really do start to go boom around the Marauder, the troops and crew inside will barely notice a thing. It's pretty much bomb-proof. This vehicle is going to take just about anything that can be dished out, like explosions as powerful as 8 kilograms of TNT under the hull and 14 kilograms under the wheels. Good luck trying to take this thing down. Number 10. Caspian Sea Monster. This wild military vehicle certainly lives up to its name, and you can expect anything with the word monster in its name to be an absolute beast. In this case, the Caspian Sea Monster takes the cake. A product of the Soviet Union, the Caspian Sea Monster, or Ekranoplane, is neither a boat nor a plane. Instead, it takes on the best of both worlds. It's what's known as a ground effect vehicle, meaning it uses its wings to create a big but soft cushion of air that the aircraft can use to skim over the water surface. The Caspian Sea Monster is mostly a cargo craft, but it can carry a much larger load than most other conventional aircraft, seeing as how it doesn't have to take on the burden of properly gaining enough altitude for takeoff. But when it hits the water, it's a lot faster than a ship, hitting a top speed of 300 miles an hour. All of this is thanks to its 10, count them 10 jet engines. The only catch is the Caspian Sea Monster never actually left the experimental stages, so it didn't get the action it deserved. Actually, during a test run, the only model in existence crashed in the ocean. It was never recovered due to its ridiculous weight. A smaller version was eventually made, but nothing will ever come close to this behemoth. Number 9. BVS-10 Viking. Here's another insane military vehicle that really lives up to its name, the BVS-10, better known as the Viking. It isn't playing around, so when you see it out in the field, you know things are about to get real. The Viking is a twin-chassis armored vehicle used by the UK forces and was built by the BAE Systems Swedish subsidiary, Hägglunds. This all-terrain and fully amphibious vehicle comes packing a heavy machine gun, smoke grenade launchers, and can even fire mortars at the enemy. Couple that with its extra armor and the fact that it has a detachable rear unit for quick escapes, and you've got the recipe for disaster if you're on the wrong side of this thing. The Viking has a 2-unit configuration and tracks that let it navigate the snow, sand, and soft terrains like it's nothing. Number 8. Buffalo MPV. Made in and by the United States is the Buffalo MPV. This guy was produced by General Dynamics Force and Protection Incorporated and is the biggest vehicle the company offers, so you know it's going to be good. Known as an MRAP, or Mine-Resistant Ambush-Protected Vehicle, the Buffalo MPV isn't really designed to transport troops despite how safe it may be on the inside. Actually, it traverses the battlefield as an ordnance disposal vehicle, keeping the roads safe for the next convoy that comes in. The Buffalo MPV comes complete with 6 run-flat tires and a V-shaped monohull chassis that makes it essentially mine-proof. So whoever is lucky enough to drive it can see the boom without having to feel it. After initial production, the MPV got an upgrade too, where they added a BAE system armor, making it just about impervious to anti-tank RPG attacks. But since this is an ordnance disposal vehicle, it's working with an advanced mine detection system and uses its 30-foot robotic crane arm to get rid of IEDs. This military vehicle gained so much attention and popularity that it was even in the Transformers movie. If it's good enough for them, it's good enough for anybody. Number 7. Titus. Not to be confused with the Roman Emperor, Titus stands for Tactical Infantry Transport and Utility System. Coming from France of all places, the Titus draws upon the country's previous military heavy hitters like the Leclerc main battle tank. Development took just 2 years, but they managed to provide their troops a pretty solid MRAP vehicle at a much lower cost, but with higher efficiency. Despite its tank-like and heavyset appearance, the Titus has amazing mobility and offers a more modular approach than the other vehicles in its category. It can hold up to 3 crew members and 10 passengers and has another 4 cubic meters of baggage space, so the soldiers can sit pretty and bring all of their toys with them in between missions. But the Titus is also equipped with a remote control weapons station, a 40mm grenade launcher, and 2 light machine guns from the rear. And if you think you're attacking this thing from the bottom, you're out of your mind, because the Titus is another mine-proof vehicle. Sorry, bad guys. There's also plenty of fun electronic gadgets on board like jammers, recon equipment, and the Fast Information Navigation Decision and Reporting System, or FINDERS for short. Number 6. Lazar. The Western Allies aren't the only countries packing some serious and insane military heat. Serbia has seen its fair share of action over the years, which is why they developed the Lazar. Lazar is an 8x8 multi-role mine-resistant ambush-protected vehicle that looks like it would fit right into any action movie or a video game. It meets the advanced needs of Serbia's infantry and is specially designed to traverse urban and other high-traffic areas. It gets its namesake from Prince Lazar, who won the Battle of Kosovo in 1389 against the Ottoman invasion. And some 700 years later, Prince Lazar's legacy is essentially a military bunker on wheels. This vehicle is the perfect countermeasure to enemy ambushes, anti-tank weaponry like mines, IEDs, and rockets. But it can also effectively engage bunkers and other armored fighting vehicles, as well as with extreme efficacy of its remote control weapon system, and has a range of almost 500 miles. So if you think you can outrun the Lazar, you've got another thing coming. If you've got 11 friends who need a safe ride, this may be your best bet. Number 5. IAV Striker. The militaries of North America pack a serious punch, and we're not just talking about the good old US of A. Their neighbors in the North have their own big and crazy toys that they like to bring to the playground too. So the Canadian branch of General Dynamics Land Systems cooked up the Interim Armored Vehicle Striker, or IAV Striker for short. This vehicle is another 8x8 vehicle with speed and agility at the helm, along with heavier protection and attack capabilities. The IAV Striker is used for command, control, and targeting, and comes with a handful of weapons options and sensor packs, all combined with the most advanced computer and communication system anyone can ask for. It's actually become a military favorite, seeing as how its versatility makes it one of the premier choices for asymmetrical warfare situations. Whether it's needed on the front line, a tactical or technical role, or just getting troops in and out as fast as humanly possible, the IAV Striker is the way to go. Since it's an 8x8, it obviously is well suited for rugged off-roading missions, but also excels in urban environments as well. And you know that thick armor is going to repel any RPGs sent its way. Anything that can fight and defend at the same time is a surefire winner. Number 4. M9 Combat Earth Remover. Sometimes when you get to the battlefield, you've got to move pretty quick. And we're not just talking about getting boots on the ground. When something big gets in the way, it's got to come down, and that's when you call in the M9 Combat Earth Remover. The name should be pretty self-explanatory, but we'll break it down for you anyway. Better known as the M9 Ace, this insane military vehicle works best as support for the armed forces. It can knock down just about any kind of wall, clear out riverbanks, smash through obstacles, and be used for cover by ground forces trying to set up a perimeter. And despite all it can do, the M9 Ace is pretty low maintenance, seeing as how it just needs one crew member to operate it and live out all of their child demolition fantasies. The catch, though, is that it's pretty tough to see out of this thing from the driver's seat, so whoever's lucky enough to be at the helm must undergo extensive and serious training. But once they're inside, nothing is going to get in their way, literally. And surprisingly, the M9 Ace has a top speed of 30 miles an hour, so it's not going to be winning a drag race anytime soon, but it'll reach the perfect speed to bring a house down. Number 3. Avenger Weapon System. The Avengers have been a household name for years, saving the world like it's their day job. No, not those Avengers. We're of course talking about the Avengers Weapon System. While the United States Army may have troops on the ground moving across different bases and garrisons, there's also the threat of an air attack. And the Avenger Weapon System, or just Avenger for short, is one of the best ground-to-air countermeasures to have on their side. This military vehicle carries up to 8 Stinger missiles that will easily shoot down helicopters and any other low-flying aircraft looking to make a strafing run against the few and the proud. The Avenger, though, is essentially a Humvee with a Heft missile defense system, with motion tracking capabilities sitting right on top, offering the perfect shoot and scoot. And believe it or not, Boeing is the one who produced this insane military vehicle for the United States. Number 2. M2 Bradley Fighting Vehicle. The folks at BAE have given us plenty of versions of their Bradley fighting vehicle, better known as the BFV. But there's one in particular that really takes the cake, the M2. The M2 BFV is a nasty brute, and you better hope that if you do see one of these big and insane military vehicles, that it's here to help you out of a tight spot. The M2 model can hold and transport up to 10 soldiers, so it can get you out of the hot zone or show up with the cavalry to turn the tide. And since it's got a top speed of about 25 miles an hour, there's no need to worry about being a sitting duck. But then there's the firepower, because the M2 came to play. Always ready for combat, it features a 25mm Bushmaster cannon, firing off some of the biggest rounds you'll ever see. You see this thing coming down in an urban war zone, it's easy to get it confused with a tank, which means it's instilling fear in anyone and everyone on the wrong side of its gun. Number 1. M1 Shredder. Part tank, part bulldozer, all insane. The M1 Shredder is a favorite of both the United States Marine Corps and Army. Using the beefy chassis of the M1 tank and replacing their M1 Grizzly, the M1 Shredder lives up to its name, seeing as how it's an assault breacher vehicle. The Shredder serves as a utility vehicle and is going to ram through anything and everything in its path. It's a pretty tough and rugged support vehicle, but can also tear the place up in other ways too. Remember that it is still a tank, so it's packing a nasty machine gun and smoke grenades and can reach a top speed of 43 miles an hour. So when the smoke clears, you're greeted with a bulldozer firing giant bullets at you. You better raise that white flag. Watch our Vehicles playlist for more top 15 videos about amazing vehicles. Sit back, relax, and binge watch all of our best vehicle videos.